everybody. Okay, so, oh, whoops, hang on. Okay, we're good. I thought we were gonna have the echo loop thing going on again. So today I'm trying to kind of mess with the settings on my broadcast program. So the audio between the video and my voice is going to be a little bit different. So I absolutely need your help to tell me if the audio from the video is too high, too low, whatever. So, thank you, Vince. He's on with the "we see you and hear you" thing that helps me out so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so today's viewing party is probably going to be just a little bit different than normal because usually I am able to like stop and do demonstrations and everything with, you know, what we did in the video, and I can't really do that today. To an extent, I can do that, but it's not completely possible because the brushes that I used, being that I handmade them on the spot there, I can't use them again. They're actually starting to kind of fall apart. So I framed everything today and I think it looks beautiful, but while I was framing it, one of them really started falling apart. So hopefully it just kind of stays now that it's behind glass. And I'll show that to you guys. I've got it here. So I'll show you that in just a little bit. Also, a little bit later, I will be showing you what we're painting next week. So those of you in the $15 plus level on Patreon, if you remember, was that last week? The week before? Time just like melds together in my wee little head. But when we did the live painting a week or so ago, the still life that we did, I really loved the direction that we were going with that. So I took it and I ended up reworking it quite a bit. I reworked a lot of it, and we'll talk about that in the viewing party for next week. But the idea that we came up with in our live event last week is where this painting came from. So I hope that you guys enjoy that. We have a lot of chatting going on in the chat area right now. And yeah, hopefully a few more people join us. I know it seems like this was kind of a busy week and a lot of people said they weren't going to be able to make this one. Now, even though I can't really demo what I did in the video, I am still set up for some demos today. I'll show you that right over here. So I've got some watercolor paper. I've got my watercolors. I can demo like the rubbing alcohol spray that we did. I showed you a little bit of rubbing alcohol spray, what that does on watercolor. So I've got that there. I've got my water bottle and I have my granulation medium. So the granulation medium was actually kind of hard to use with the brushes that I made. It's a lot easier to use when you have like an eyedropper. So I have a dropper today so we can do some fun little things and just kind of see what happens. So yeah, whatever you guys want to talk about or do today, I'll play the video, but you know, we can really just kind of go where the day leads us. Whichever direction you guys want to go. I'm here for you, man. Okay, so Kathy, it's not quite right yet, but I'm glad you're getting the emoji ready. All right, let's go ahead and get started playing. This one is going to be a little bit different because usually I have it queued up so that you don't have to see my big old dumb face at the beginning of the video, and then I like pause it really quick at the end so that you don't have to see my big old dumb face at the end of the video. But I am going to play this one from the beginning to the very end because Mr. Jane is in it, and I'm very happy about that. So, yeah, so you guys will get to see Mr. Jane. Stop saying what? Welcome to everyone who's in the chat. Kelly just joined us, and we have Sylvie and Eileen and Kathy and Deb and Pat and Vince and me. And did I miss anyone else? Do we have our 2 Debs today? Just the one? Not to sound disappointed in that. Anyway, Christopher just joined us. Oh, stop it. Okay, let's go ahead and get started before I accidentally say something else that is going to make me sound like a jerk, because I'm pretty good at that. I'm going to turn my face off while we watch the beginning of the video here. So let me know if you can't hear this, okay? And here we go.
Hi everyone, I'm Jane, and this is Mr. Jane, aka Vince.
Hello everybody.
And we are here today at the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. And we are staying in famous room 217, where Stephen King originally had the idea to write The Shining. So this morning, Mr. Jane and I walked around the grounds of the Stanley Hotel and we checked out the hedge maze. And I thought it would be such a cool thing to do, to pick up little bits of nature and plants from this area and see if I could make some paintbrushes and what those kind of paintbrushes might do, made with nothing but natural materials. So while we were out, I picked up some of these little naturey bits that you can see over here.
Hand modeling.
And I am gonna see if I can make some paintbrushes out of them and see if I can do a quick little painting with them. And of course, I'm going to show you how you can do that as well with little bits of plants that you may have where you are.
And this could very well be the world's first ever painting tutorial done in room 217 of the famous Stanley Hotel.
How exciting is that?
Right?
I didn't even think about that.
Right.
All right, so while Mr. Jane goes and gets his inspiration from room 217 and starts writing, we are going to get settled and get started making some natural paintbrushes. So let's get started. Okay, so here are
all right, so now I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Please let me know how my voice is in relation to the video that's playing right now. And I'm trying to get back so that you can see my beautiful face.
Brush handles. So I've got these fun
All
little
right,
kind of looking
how's
bits
that
that are
sound?
soft.
Everything good?
And
Video too
these
loud?
Grasses, I liked these grasses because they're very curly, very thin on the ends. So
Did any? I mean, I saw quite a few, but did anybody here right now try this? Did you make any paintbrushes with anything? And
gave them a trim. There were a bunch
yeah, we'd just like to know about your experience with that, if you did anything like that.
And then this is a neat little flower that I found. It's a dead flower. I assume it was in bloom last year. So this is dry.
Pat, did I see that, Pat? I know I saw quite a few of them today.
Stamping with to get a little bit of texture. So we'll see how that works out. And then I just have.
If I didn't comment on it, make sure that you make sure you tag me in it. Cindy's too lazy.
Look nice with the natural colors.
Deb hasn't been brave enough
and then a pair of scissors. And I'm working on a towel.
Paint with a cactus, huh?
And the tabletop is glass, and I didn't want to cause the glare. So work with
the live audio is a bit loud.
Okay, so I'm just going to pick one to start with, and I think I'm going to start with this one. Very soft.
All right, let's see.
Really fun for a paintbrush.
Is that better?
Short, so
Am I still too loud?
So I'm just going to grab a stick, just a random stick, and hold this to the
Rita brought some stuff home but hasn't tried it yet.
Unspool some thread.
I hate it when you guys say you cheated. Eileen said she cheated and didn't make handles.
The stick.
Nothing's cheating, guys. Stop saying you cheated. Never, ever tell me you cheated again. Ever.
Half hanging off, I think. So
ever.
I can tie it to the other side. And then we'll just wrap this really tight. I'm going to wrap it several times. I mean,
well, Cindy, at least you know yourself.
Completely natural elements. They're really not going to last very long, but I don't want it to just fall apart the first time I use it. And I think if we wrap a little bit of this red,
that was a well-placed rant emoji, Kathy.
It looks nice. And it's
I
fun if the
really,
materials
really
look
enjoyed
nice
doing
while
this,
you're
and it's
using
something I
it. That's
absolutely
probably
want
good.
to do again.
Cut that so I've got a couple
Absolutely.
inches hanging off, and then tie these two ends together really tight.
Christopher, you tried it? Did you post it?
Okay, and then I'm going to cut off the loose bits of thread just so they don't get...
Yeah,
into the
Pat, I
paint once
noticed
we start
that
using it.
some of the materials
So there
definitely
is our
worked better
first
than
paintbrush.
others.
Yay! I'm
The
excited
green
to try
bits,
this. Okay, let's see what else we have. It
they,
might also be fun if you
when they did make a
combine
mark, I really
different
liked the mark
materials.
that they
See what
made,
happens there.
but it
for
was
now,
just
I'm just
getting
gonna
them to
make
make a mark.
a
That was kind of
paintbrush
hard.
with a single material. So let's take this little bit of
Oh,
the
Christopher,
evergreen
you
from
should just
the
post it.
hedge maze,
Post it
and
in the
I'm gonna
jams
break
if
off
you're,
a few
you
little
know, if you're
pieces
hesitant to post it
so that I can
where
arrange
everyone
them
can
into
see
a
it.
shape that I want.
Make sure you tag me because I want to see. Nobody's judging anybody else.
And we could
And if
make it
anybody
either a
is
very
judging
thin
anyone else,
paintbrush
we need to
or
have serious
very
talk.
thick and dense. I think I'm gonna go kind of half and half. So
Yeah,
maybe
I did
one
get
more
some of the
piece
little
on there.
hedge pieces. They were the ones that didn't work out
I think I like that. So because
incredibly
I have a bunch
well.
of little pieces right here, I don't want to have to fight with them when I'm
Is
putting
it
them
just
on the
me,
stick.
or
So
is
I'm
the
gonna tie
video
these
really
together
jumpy? It feels
first,
very, very jumpy to me.
just to make sure
And it's
they
not
don't
my
start
player
falling
that's
all over the place, which
jumping.
they're probably going to do anyway.
It's jumping on
Because
the
I've got a mess of
YouTubes.
materials here.
It could just be my computer. Ooh,
I think
cedar.
that this would be a fun project, you know, wherever you are, if you have a place that
Yeah, that's what I
you
thought.
need
I don't know what to do
something
about it, guys.
to-
I think it's got to
It'd
be
be
the
really fun to
internet
just gather a bunch
connection
of materials and make some
because
paintbrushes
my player
and
isn't
just
jumping.
create a little painting that reminds you of that trip or that
Sometimes the internet
location.
connection
And
here
I
is
think creating it with
amazing.
materials that you
Sometimes
find in that location
not so much.
makes it even more meaningful. So even if these brushes don't end up being ones that I would ever want to use again, I think I'll probably keep
I don't know
them
what to
forever
do about
remember
that.
this trip.
I don't have any
All right, now I'm
programs
gonna
open.
stick
I don't
them
have
on
any
the stick
websites
Get it?
open.
and wrap
Hopefully it just
around
kind of evens
the
out.
edge again, or the end.
I saw actually a lot of people
really
used
bad
acrylic
puns.
paint with this.
Stick it on the
And
stick.
yeah, I thought that was really
Scoot it
cool.
up a
There's
little
no
bit so
way
you
that
can
I could use
use the
acrylic
full
paint
length
with
of
not with the
stick.
materials that I picked anyway. They were, pretty delicate, and I don't think maybe the green
And
bits
then we'll
would have
secure it by
moved
tying those
acrylic
two
paint
ends
around had I
together.
used enough of them. But I don't feel like anything else would have done
Make sure you
anything
tie 'em a
productive with
couple
the
of
acrylic
times,
paint.
because otherwise it could come undone as soon as you put some water on the bristles or on the plant.
I didn't
stick,
clean my angle brush
whatever.
out, or my
Once you
fan
get it
brush
wet.
very well, so I've got like a little chunky spot in him. That's
All
okay.
right, there's
I'll just break out
our
my Castile
second
soap later and
paintbrush.
give
I
him
have
a
2 sticks
shampoo.
left, and
He'll
I have
survive.
this twirly grassy stuff. So let's see. Let's pick one that's got some nice curly ends. So I really like this
I
end.
think
It's
he's
already
good.
started to fray. As you can see, we've got like 3 little curly ends there. So I'm gonna cut that.
Yeah, Windows
We'll work
10.
with this. So I'm gonna shrug
Great
those.
stuff, huh?
And
Just-
then they're kind of long.
I don't know.
Maybe break them in half.
Some
a couple
computer
of
stuff.
times
It's not like
so
it's
we can brush
2018
it's a
and
little
this
bit
stuff
more
should just
dense
be like
than,
easy and smooth,
3 little curly strands.
Yeah, fluid acrylics could work with this. And especially like the inks, the acrylic inks. I did use the white acrylic ink, didn't I?
Okay, so there's all those bits. I'm going to try and turn them so they pretty much go the same direction. Okay, and then I'm going to tie these together before I put them on the stick.
What? Oh, did I speed it up there? I was like, why is
Yeah,
it
give
going
them a
so
little bit of a
fast?
haircut too, 'cause they're
Oh,
kinda
also,
crazy, and I think I
you
want
guys have probably
this
noticed
to be
in
a
the
little bit
last couple
closer to an
videos,
actual paintbrush.
except for this one, I haven't used any time lapse. What? And next week's video is the same. So it's about an hour and 25 minutes long. And yeah, no time lapse. So that it makes me a little bit nervous, like when I'm editing and there's a spot where there's like a lot of silence. I'm like,
kind of even out the ends.
I have to hurry. I have to speed this part up because it's boring. But I'm doing really good at you know, not using time lapse. So yeah,
that the end
I hope that you guys enjoyed that. And I'm doing a little bit of a better job like talking through things so there aren't so many of those spots where there's just silence. But then I end up saying really dumb things sometimes. So,
where I see that it's hollow,
you know,
and I'm going to cut.
You either get to listen to me say weird, dumb things or time lapse.
Here. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty small. I'm just going to shape it with my scissors lightly until it's got a nice fine point on the long side.
Okay, good.
So we're kind of making like a quill pen.
I can't repeat that after you, Eileen, because I don't know that for a fact. Sometimes I watch while I'm editing and I'm like, this is really boring. They have seen me do this time and time again. I should just cut this whole part out, not even time lapse it. Just skip it altogether. You've never heard me say dumb things, Kelly? Do you watch with your player on mute?
And, oh, don't crush it. There we go. All right, there. I think that sits pretty good. They sit pretty level to each other. So then I can go ahead and wrap it and tie it off.
I'm going to pause the video for a minute. Well, let's get through the...
All right, so there we have 4 different paintbrushes and
let's finish this part and then we'll pause it and see if my poor little computer can catch its breath and stop being all jumpy and laggy. You guys are so sweet. Something is seriously like my poor little fan on my computer is just like, so let me jump in here and see if there's something running that probably shouldn't be running. It doesn't look like there's anything running on here. Nope. Sometimes when I close my editing program, it still runs in the background and I have to go into the control or the task manager and kill it. So I thought maybe that was happening, but it's not. So anyway, yeah, we'll just have to deal with it. It looks like now that I've stopped the video from playing that's not happening anymore. So I will show you, I framed today my little painting that I did, and thankfully Michael's had shadow box frames on sale today for 70% off. 70. So if you need a shadow box frame, go to Michael's today because they're only 70% off today. So this is like a $27 frame, I think, and I got a couple of other things and I paid like 20 bucks for everything, so that's pretty good. So here is my, oh, sorry about the glare. Let's see. Nope, I can't get it without the glare, but anyway, you can see my hotel room key, and it's got 217 is right there in the middle, which you can't really tell. I'll get a picture of it. And then my painting, oh, look how meta that is. You can see me in the, anyway. And then my paintbrush is up there, and I put them kind of floating. So see how everything is standing up off of the background. Uh-oh, one of my sticks already came off the little sticky bit that's supposed to be holding it down. I'll have to fix that so it doesn't fall off, but yeah, so I just used some of that double-sided foam, like the double-sided foam tape. So you just peel this off and it's super sticky on either side. And I just stuck it to the back of the painting and the brushes and then stuck it to the little mount, the back of the frame. I don't really know words sometimes. And I gotta get back in there and fix that one that's already coming off because of course the one that's coming off is my brush that is falling apart. So if it falls off, it's probably going to disintegrate. What did I steal from the room? Nothing. Why would I steal anything from the room? They, when we went to check out, I was all sad to give them the key cards, you know, because it says 217 on it. And so I gave the guy the key cards and he's all, would you like to keep your key cards? And I was like, heck yes. So he gave us our key cards, which was awesome. I did get, let's see. I got this cool little thing in the gift shop. Jump back over here so I can make sure you can see it. It's a little keychain of, you know, it's a key. And it's got the little 217 on the little fob there. So that's cool. Now my keychain weighs like 8,000 pounds, which is awesome. If anybody steals my keys, they have to haul that around with them, and that's their fault for being a jerk. Yeah, we'd be terrified we could be hit with a huge bill if we did steal anything from the room. So, yeah, let's just let my computer kind of breathe for a second. Do you guys, do you have any questions about anything that I covered in the video? You know, whether it was just like general watercolor techniques, or you can ask questions about my vacation if you want. The ride home was terrifying. Terrifying. We almost died, pretty sure. So on the way there, you know, we're driving and whoever was in the passenger seat was just like click, 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 all throughout the windows. There was so much cool to look at, and the sky kept changing, and it was so beautiful. And, you know, and then we get there, and there was so much to see and do and take pictures of at the hotel, which was awesome. And then we get in the car to leave, and it's like 75 outside. We even put the AC on in the car for a minute. It was beautiful. It was sunny. So, of course, we start taking photos again, and we're excited about the drive home. And then we hit Wyoming, and it was like 40 to 50 mile per hour winds the entire way through Wyoming, which was about 3/4 of our trip was through Wyoming. And then we got hit by like a blizzard. Seriously, a blizzard. I could probably only see maybe about 20 yards in front of my car. And it was, you know, still the 40, 50 mile per hour gusts of winds. So, and semis everywhere, and that was terrifying. So thankfully the snow didn't last the whole time, but the wind did. And by the time we got home, like our nerves were just shattered, and we were so frazzled. And of course we had ceased taking photos because we're both driving, like, you know. So yeah, so that we almost died on the way home from from our vacation. Okay, let's see. Pat needs more watercolor experience. Awesome. And Vince is still crying in chat about how upset he is that he cut his beard off. And Deb's commiserating with his beard mourning. And does the hotel still have that creepy hallway with the elevator at the end? That's a different hotel. Actually, that was a set. The movie The Shining was not filmed at the Stanley Hotel. The exterior shots were filmed partially at a hotel in Oregon, and then everything else was a set. There was a TV mini-series made sometime in the early 2000s that Stephen King produced, I guess, to make it more in line with his book. And that was filmed at the Stanley, but it was horrible. It was terrible. Yeah, they do have one elevator, but it's right there in the middle of the lobby. And it's just this little tiny elevator. It's beautiful. It's all brass inside. And yeah. Let's see. Better than dying on the way there. Yeah, at least we had our experience and enjoyed our vacations. So, yeah. Yeah, yep, Kelly, the guy from Wings, is in it. I'm so glad somebody else has heard of Wings. I love Wings. Um, my brother and I used to watch it when we were kids. And then, I was always telling Vince about it. I'm like, yeah, the show Wings. And he's like, I've heard of it. And so finally I bought it all on DVD because it was like $30 for the entire series. And we like binged the entire series. Vince and I did in like 2 months. And we both always talk about it. Now we're like, we need to watch Wings again. I love that show. Okay. So yeah, now Vince likes the show Wings. The Shining was made in the 90s, Vince? The one with Steven Weber? I thought it was in the 2000s. All right, let's see if we can get back to our video. And again, at any point, if there's something that you want a demo on or have a question on, feel free to stop me. I'm here for you guys. I will stop and do whatever you need. And I think I told you that I was going to, but it's official. I have put in an order for our new brushes. So I don't know when they'll be here. My order is officially in though. So hopefully it's not too long. My last order took 2 weeks. My order before that took like 2 months. So anytime between, 2 weeks and 2 months, and we'll have them. Okay. So let the emails begin. Please don't email me and ask me when they'll be in because I have no idea. I get no notification about when they're on their way. One day there's a knock on my door and I open it and there's like 18 big, huge boxes that each weigh like 80 pounds. And I'm like, oh, my brushes are in. That's how I know when they're in. All right, here we go.
Okay, so now we're all set up to just kind of test our brushes, see what they do. And I'm going to use watercolor.
I can demo.
Because I feel like
I think, yeah, we demoed a couple of them last week with the live event, the live Patreon event that we did. But these large round ones, I think these aren't marked because they're just samples, but I think it's number 8 and a number 10. They're so lovely in watercolor. They're so good in watercolor. I just love them. I mean, they're great in acrylic too, but that's primarily what I've used them for so far is watercolor.
Since this is already liquid, I don't have to worry about that. So I've got my water.
Let's see. Sylvie, you weren't here, huh? I think most of you are here. I can show you real quick. Sylvie's asking if I showed them off somewhere, but let's go ahead. I can show you real quick. Okay, so first we have they wanted me to put numbers on them because all of my other brights are numbered, like a number 6, number 8, whatever. But I know that I won't refer to them as a number and people will ask me how big it is anyway. So I told them absolutely not put measurements on. So this is the 1/2 inch bright. And it is different from the 1/2 inch flat that we already have because this is the very soft bristles like our other brushes. And I do use this one in next week's video. So you'll get to see it in action a bit. Super soft, so it doesn't dig down into the texture as much, but it gives such beautiful, crisp lines. And it's really nice for like dry brushing so that you don't cover up all of your layers underneath and just kind of get a nice layered look. And then the exact same brush in a 5/8. So just like the angle brushes, we'll have a 1/2 inch and a 5/8. I also, just like the brights and the angles, I'm getting some larger filberts as well. So it's a 1/2 inch and a 5/8. I know they look super pointed, and I told this to everybody last week. They're actually not pointed. So when I received my samples, they had a lot of sizing in them, which, is good. Sizing is what makes the bristles really stiff when you buy a new brush. It's all like glued together. That's to protect the bristles and to kind of train them into shape. So when I got them, the sizing in it had them pinched to a really sharp point, so they almost look like a cat tongue. And that, he explained to me, that was so that they didn't just end up with a puffy shape. Since they're much bigger, they needed a little bit more training. But see, if I put just a bit of pressure on them, they round out really nicely. So they are filberts. They're not cat tongue. They're not pointed. It's just how they look from the sizing in them. And they're lovely. I love these brushes. And then our number 8 and number 10 rounds. They are fabulous. And fan brush, yay! So I know I've been using a fan brush a lot lately, and I get emails like a couple times a week. Do you sell fan brushes? Well, it should be here soon. So this is the exact same fan brush you've seen me use, and I will be using it in next week's video, but different than you've ever seen me use a fan brush before. And I think it should be a pretty easy way to use a fan brush, so don't be afraid when I say there's a fan brush in next week's video. So those are our new brushes, and yeah, as soon as they're here, I'll let you guys in Patreon and the YouTube sponsorship know as soon as they're in, and I'll probably give you guys a little bit of a discount on them. I did only order 300 of each of these just to start, because I didn't want to, you know, put in my regular big order and then end up sitting there with like, you know, 1,000 5/8" filberts because nobody wants them. So, but yeah, if they sell out, they might be out of stock for just a minute, but I can easily get more in very, very quickly. So let's go ahead and jump back to our video.
Let's see how it goes. I'm going to dip it into my water, get the full length of the little wheat bit top thing wet, and get some of the paint on it. Let's see what happens.
Will they be in a package together? I don't know if I'll have like one specific package with all of those, but I am going to reconfigure my packages just to like be able to include these. And yeah, I just need to look at that. So when you go look at my packages after these are in, they'll look a little different. They might be, you know, different brushes in different packages, and some of them might look like the prices went up, but I'm not raising prices on anything. It's just if it has different brushes in it, more brushes, or, you know, whatever, the price may change just based on what brushes are in the package. So, yeah, none of the prices will be going up. Speaking of Jane's next video, sneaky peek. Coming up, you know, I usually do that in about the middle of the video. Oh, is the fan brush stiff? So it's a natural bristle fan brush.
Nice little scratches.
So it's absolutely stiffer, you know, than the bristles that you are used to in my regular brush. But, you know, once they get a little bit of moisture in them, they soften a little bit. So, I mean, it's not scratchy, but it is just a little bit more in line with
brush, whatever you want to call it. A little bit of water. And I'm just going to scrape it through some of this. This is very, very stiff, even with the water on it.
The type of bristles is a little bit more in line with like these stiff natural bristle brushes. But it's not, this is a lot scratchier than my brush, but it's nowhere near as like, you know, these super soft, like, oh, I'm a fan brush that really doesn't do anything, and I'm going to make a bad mascara job on your canvas. This won't make the bad mascara job. It's nice and dense. It's much, much denser than any fan brush I've ever owned. So I really like it. I like it a lot.
So this part of the paper is drying a little bit. Let's add a little bit more water. And
yeah, that's what happens, Christopher. And I don't know, I don't really understand why you'd want to use
I like that.
I mean, I've
These are gonna be
used
fun
it
to
in the
use for
past
painting,
because
I
I didn't
think.
know the
We'll go with
difference,
our
but now
little
that I've
evergreen
used
bit,
a
a little
fan
bit of
brush like
water,
this one,
a little bit of
I
paint.
don't really understand what a
This
super soft
brush is
one
going to be different
like
because
this
the
would even be
material,
good for. I do have
since
some
it's
other
green
ones that my
still,
guy
it's not
sent me
dry, it's not
samples
really going to
of that are
absorb
very, very
anything.
soft,
Oh,
but they're
yeah, it is sucking that
completely
paint all the
different the
way up
way that
there.
they're shaped and the
See
way
what
that the
happens on the
bristles are
dry side.
tapered, and they do
Let's get a
some
little more
really
water on there.
beautiful effects. You would
It's
use them
not
for
transferring
things
anything
completely
really here. I'm
different. You
just going to
wouldn't
kind of
paint, you
stamp
know,
it.
pine trees with them, or
No,
probably
it's
you
really
wouldn't
not
even
doing
create
anything on the dry
grasses
side.
with
There
them.
we
But
go. That's not very interesting.
they're gorgeous.
Let's try it up here
And
in the
they're
water
awesome,
area.
but I just don't know how they would fit into how I paint. So for now, I won't be getting any
That
of
would kind
those,
of
but
make some
we'll
cool
see.
distant trees.
Maybe at some point.
You can't really tell what's going on there. There we go.
Well, hello everybody.
like
I
that.
missed. Let's see.
So
I
I
see
think I'm going to use
Deb
this to make some
and
distant trees
Emmy
when we
and
do our actual
Debbie,
painting. This
and
one I'm
I
really
saw
excited to
someone
try
else
out.
pop in
Hopefully I
that
don't destroy this one.
I missed. Who did I
Testing it
miss?
because I don't have any more of these little flowers. I could go get some more, but
Gretchen.
okay. So I wet them in the jar just a bit.
It's nice to have all you
Dry 'em off pretty
guys.
good. And I'm just going to tap into a little bit of this paint. Ooh, sucked it right up into those flowers.
I hate that this
And
is
let's
so
try and
laggy, you guys.
That's nice. Some good little grassy textures. Oh, look at that. That's cool. Let's try that again. So this paper's dry here. And I'm just going to scrape
I
it
love these
upwards.
little flowers. Painting with these
That
little
is really nice.
flowers,
I like that.
they were my favorite.
I like that a lot.
My favorite to
So
paint
all
with.
of these brushes so far are working out better than they're working out better than
Should
I
have grabbed a
expected
bunch of
them
those.
to. So,
So I
can't
could
complain about that.
use them
And
regularly.
our last one is our pen that we made.
This
Kinda
poor
like
little
a
pen,
quill
it is
pen.
so falling
So
apart.
I dipped it
It
just a
almost
little bit in the
completely
water
crushed while I
because
was
if it's
framing
dry,
it
It
today.
may not suck up so much of this paint.
Yeah, it
But
only
where it's
lags
wet,
like that when
it'll
my
probably
video
grab
is
a bit more
playing.
of it. So, yep, I saw it sip right up into there. I'm gonna kind of roll it in that watercolor a bit. And I'm going to use the long point. Hopefully this is strong enough. We'll see if we can write with it.
Well, Eileen, you do tend to
I
get
don't think it's
acrylic
really
paint on the
strong enough that I
carpet
could
quite
write with it,
often.
but I like how it kind of
So that's
catches
a
my
valid
flicks.
fear.
That's cool. Let's try it in a wet area. I'm going to make a new wet area.
Oh, Gretchen, how awesome. I would love to see that. Hi, Gwen. I'm glad you could pop in for a minute.
Like,
Nope,
maybe the
I have
bottom
not
edge of some
shown
clouds
next week's
because of how
painting
thin
at
this
all
is.
yet.
So it deposits the paint
Jess,
really narrowly.
I'm glad you're here too,
I can
Deb. I'm glad you
control it a little
remembered.
bit more.
Gwen, I just said
So we
to
might be able
everyone
to do, like,
that
some
next
cloud
week's
details.
painting
Let's
is
try that
based
again.
on the painting that we worked on during our live painting last week. So it's quite a bit different. I had to rework a lot of things in it, but I'm really happy with how it turned out,
really
and I
fun,
hope you guys
I'm
like it.
looking forward to making a painting with them. I think that between all of these, we should be able to do an interesting little landscape. So I'm going to reset for that, and we'll get started. Okay, so I have another piece of paper
Now
here,
we're gonna
and
do
it's
the
no
actual painting. Okay,
shape.
this is probably a good place to pause it. Give my computer a little bit of a break so that we can kind of stop lagging so much. And we'll talk about next week's painting. So, I'm thrashing with all, I guess I do have quite a few things up. I've got, let's see. Maybe if we close some of these things, maybe that will help. Let's see. So last week we did, in our live event, we ended up doing a still life that I painted with, we used cadmium orange, ultramarine blue, and white. And it turned out really, I don't even have it here. I don't know where it went. But I was really happy with it. I really loved the colors and, you know, the ideas and everything that we ran with. So that's kind of where I started with this. But then, like I said, I did have to change it quite a bit. So here is next week's painting. Also, never mind. Okay, here's next week's painting. So the colors are a little bit different than what we did in that video, and I'll explain to you why that is next week when we do our viewing party. But yeah, so there is next week's painting. Yay! I hope you guys like it. And can you tell what part I used the fan brush on? I did use fan brush in this painting. And guys, this is a, I just finished my drink and now my throat is so dry that I feel like I'm going to choke. This painting is quite simple. This is, I would say it's a pretty darn simple painting. I know that, you know, you see things like this and you're like, oh no, she spent like 20 hours on the layers on this painting again, didn't she? No, she did not. So, yeah, I did not go layer after layer after layer after layer on this one. There's no mediums. There's no, probably the most difficult part is I did use a ruler at the beginning. So, but I think it's going to be a simple enough painting. So, oh good. I'm so glad that you guys all like it. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I did use the fan brush on the purple flowers, but don't be afraid because can you see here? Let me switch you on over to here. Can you see how my fan brush is only like purple on one side? That's kind of a hint as to how I did the purple flowers. It's none of this, there's none of that. It's all like that. That's it. On the corner, see, like that. So it's pretty easy. And if you don't have a fan brush, I would not use a soft fan brush. It won't work to do those flowers. So if you don't have a fan brush like this for now, just use, you could maybe use one of my cloud brushes. Try that out. Try it on a junk canvas before you put it on your painting, or even just, you know, anything with those natural bristles and just kind of dab. Don't wipe it. If you wipe it, it's just going to get smeary. So just kind of dab, just like that. But I'm really hoping that my fan brushes are in super quick. Let's see, be a fan of the fan brush, exactly. Thank you guys. I'm so glad that you like the table. So I had done that painting. Let's go back and look at it for just a minute while I talk. So I had done the painting and I was like, yeah, I like it. It's okay. I thought the bottom was just boring. It was just like a, you know, just a rectangle across the bottom. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll just throw in something that kind of looks like fabric. Very simple. Notice the fabric is very, very simple. So I did that and I liked it, but it's still just something about it wasn't right. So then I cut off part of the table, reshaped the back edge, and dropped the fabric down the edge. And that's when I really, really liked it, you know, kind of give it that three-dimensional quality a little bit. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. Originally, I was going to do thistles instead of the onion flowers, the purple puffballs. I really kind of pictured, after our talk last week when we did this live, I pictured a vase full of thistles and cotton, and I could not get that out of my head. But I was going to do the thistles in kind of that golden orange color. And yeah, the more I thought about it and the more I kind of messed with it, I was like, I have to have purple. I didn't like the thistles the way I was doing them in the purple. I really wanted some orange in there and with the purple thistles. So anyway, there was a whole lot of back and forth that I went through before I settled on this. So yeah, like I said, if you were here for the live thing last week, you recognize it, but it's definitely different. So let's see. We got some questions. Oh yeah, Gwen wants to know more about the granulation medium, so we can definitely do that, and me too. And I'm not sure, Lisa. I don't know about that. We'll have to look at that later because I can't get onto Facebook while I'm broadcasting. Thank you, Eileen. Eileen likes the composition. I like the composition too. Okay, so I'm gonna set up, we'll mess with that granulation medium real quick, okay? Because it's super fun, and I feel like you didn't get to see really what the granulation medium can do in the video that I did with the brushes. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So I have my granulation medium, and this stuff is awesome. I couldn't find it at Michael's. I had to order it. I got it on, I think I got it on Dick Blick. It wasn't very expensive. $3, $5, something like that. So I've read that you're supposed to, like, you can use it instead of water. So like dip your brush into it and then get your paint and everything. But what I like to do is instead, oh, I guess I should have some paint. Let's get some paint. What color? Let's use, my Payne's Gray. Well, yeah, I think I told you that in the video. My Payne's Gray exploded when we were driving to Colorado. So there's like Payne's Gray all over everything. Let's use this turquoise color because it, I know that it does that really well. It granulates really nicely. And let's use a brown. Maybe this, that's not, where is my Venetian brown? And you can use this with regular watercolors too, like the kind that come in a pan or tubes. This is just all I have with me today. It's just my liquids. But yeah, it does work with any kind of watercolor. I am just gonna guess, I have no idea. I'm just gonna guess that like super cheap, like maybe Crayola watercolors, they may not granulate as nicely, but I don't know, that's just a guess. Okay, so I'm going to take my 5/8 inch bright, and I think I'm actually going to spray this paper too. That's just water. I'm just going to get some water and wet it down real quick. I'm not going to paint anything real particular here. We're just going to demonstrate the granulation medium. So shake these up because the hydrous paints, the pigments do kind of separate after a while. Actually, I'm going to spray the other side too, get rid of that curl. There we go. Okay, so here is Venetian brown. It doesn't really matter what colors. I just thought these two colors will probably granulate really well. Some colors do granulate better than others. And I thought they might kind of look nice together for our little demonstration. That's kind of a cool bloom, isn't it? I like the way that color's blooming. And some turquoise blue with a really loud truck going by outside. Okay. I'm just going to spray a little bit of water on there, get things moving a bit. And take my eyedropper and get some granulation medium. And I'm going to just drip it right in there. Let it sit for a second. You can already kind of see it working, especially in the blue. And then I'm going to pick it up and just kind of let it start flowing. See that? See those speckles in the blue? Those are the pigments. They like separate from the binder because watercolor does have binder in it, just like acrylic does. So they're like separating from the binder and kind of clumping together. So it kind of reminds me of like coffee grounds. Look at that. I mean, it's so easy. You dribble it on and then let it run. And it does all the work itself. Gorgeous, right? I love granulation medium. So while we're already here, let's do one other cool thing. And it looks highly textured. It looks like you would be able to touch and feel like little bumps where the pigments all clump together, but you can't. It doesn't feel like anything once it's dry. So I have my rubbing alcohol. It's just rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle. And this spray bottle doesn't work very well, so when I spray it, it kind of goes, it doesn't go psh, which is cool. And man, I'm jabbery today. I don't have another one of these. Maybe I do. I was thinking about getting another one and putting granulation medium in it and seeing how it worked if I sprayed granulation medium onto the paper instead of dribbling it. So I'll have to pick up another little bottle. So if you just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol and just kind of let it dribble, it's like magic. It's so exciting. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I was actually working on a watercolor painting a little while ago, and then I messed it up and it looks terrible. So I'll do it again. But one thing I did was I did a wash of one color. I can't even remember what colors I used. I did a wash of a color across the back of the paper and let it dry completely. And then I did another wash of a different color and it was darker on top of that. And then I just sprayed the rubbing alcohol on it little by little as the paper dried. And the rubbing alcohol, because it pushed the wet watercolor away, see how it makes these little circles? It looked like a bunch of flowers. And then I messed it up because I took some gouache and like painted around everything, and I did it too much. I should have used anything else. But anyway, that's something I want to do again. If it's very liquidy, like this is still very wet, still running, it will kind of fill in. But as the paint starts to settle more so that it's not running, it won't fill itself in anymore. So see, like that one is. So these ones will pretty much stay like that. Down here, those ones will probably start to fill in a little bit. So rubbing alcohol is super fun and cool to use. It's really unexpected, but just the amount of texture that you can get out of it is really, really fun. And I like to use it in conjunction with that granulation medium. So anyway, I kind of gabbed at you forever. Let's see if you guys have questions. Let's see. $10 for the granulation medium on Amazon. It's because Dick Blick's cheaper. Let's see. What makes one color granulate more than the other, and how do you know without experimenting? You don't know without experimenting. I can tell you which one's of mine, but unless you're using these exact same paints, you know, Venetian brown in one brand might do it more than in another one. What makes them granulate more than others is the type of pigments. You know, I would imagine that like man-made pigments probably don't granulate as much, and really earthy pigments that come from actual earth elements, probably granulate more than others, which is why I chose blue and brown. They're typically made with more natural pigments than something like quinacridone, which is as far as I know, quinacridone is a man-made pigment. It doesn't come from any natural substance. And so I think that that's probably the difference. That and different brands, you know, will probably granulate different than other ones. Oh, yay! I helped Kelly repair a dented canvas. And how is it different from what salt does? So salt is totally different. I actually don't really care for the salt technique. I know a lot of people absolutely love it. I don't care for it, and I don't have any salt here. So do I? No. So with salt, if you dribble it, you dribble it into the wet, and it kind of like sucks the paint around it to it, and then as it dries, like because the salt kind of melts, and then as it dries, it also kind of spreads out and it crystallizes a little bit. But in my experience, it doesn't come off the paper real easily, and then your paper's gritty, and pretty much once you use salt, you have to be done because otherwise you're spreading the salt all over the place. One thing I have wanted to experiment with, and I keep telling myself, you got to do that, and then I just haven't done it yet, is painting with salt water instead of regular water, because I really wish I had some salt here. Because if you were to take salt water and spray it or drip it on here, like I've done with the rubbing alcohol, it would do things a little bit differently as well. So that's something that I need to experiment with. But as far as like dribbling the salt crystals onto the paper, I don't really care for that. It doesn't make these nice round bubble like features. It looks more sparkly. And I've seen some images done with salt crystals that look really awesome. I've just never had good luck with it. And it's possible that I'm just dumb and don't know how to do it. So, and Deb is so into this. Yes, me too. Let's see. Can you use it on acrylic? I don't think so. You could try it. It's a watercolor medium. If you used it on acrylic, you'd probably want to water the acrylic down pretty far. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try it someday. Yes, you can use it in acrylic ink. As far as liquid acrylics, I don't know. So you can use it in the acrylic ink, but the Liquitex acrylic inks that I have, they don't granulate even this well. Oh, you know what? I've got my acrylic inks here. I did experiment with it with my metallic acrylic inks, and the granulation on that was pretty cool. So, but it's still more subtle than that. So let's do that real quick. Let's see what happens. My big old bag O paint that's from the natural grocers. And yes, all of my heavy body's just thrown into the bottom. So I have my gold acrylic ink, and there's the black. All I have is gold, black, silver, and white. And I really, really want the white to granulate, but it doesn't seem to do it too much. But I thought that if I could get the white to granulate, that would be super awesome, but I haven't had much luck with that one. The gold and silver seem to do it the best, so let's see what we can do. Shake it up a bit, because this separates too. And this is the gold. So I'll put a couple, we'll just do like, yeah, a couple dribbles right there of this gold ink. And where'd my dropper go? There it is. And this doesn't really, it doesn't have too much of a smell. I was worried that it would be really, for some reason I was thinking it would have like a really strong, horrible smell, but it really doesn't. Couple drops in the gold there. We'll put 3. Because it doesn't seem to granulate as much as the others. Let it sit there for a second. And let it run. Now you can see it happening a little bit. Let's see, hang on. I'm going to move it away so that I can really get it going. Yeah, it's happening a little bit. I'll zoom it in so you can see. Where it did granulate is just gorgeous. But it didn't do it quite as much. I'm going to put a tiny spray of water right there. Okay, let me zoom in here. Can we not be blurry? Don't be blurry. Why are you being blurry? Come on. So can you see where it's granulated a bit? It's mostly right there. That's really where we got the most of the granulation in that gold. So it does a bit, but not to the extent that the watercolors do. Let's try, zoom me out there a little. Let's try and throw some white in here. But see, like just messing around, we can make fun little abstract paintings. I think it's fun anyway. I like the way this is looking. Ooh, there's like a yucky spider web stuck to my arm. That's gonna gross me out really bad. All right, some white. Let's put the white right there. And we'll put a couple dribbles of the granulation medium in that. It seems like it's starting to already, but I think that it's really just kind of picking up bits of the blue that granulated. I'm going to tilt it toward me for a second, get it going. Oh, that looks awesome, actually. I really like that. I like that a lot. It did granulate that white. I haven't been able to get the white to do too much, but that looks pretty rad. I like that. What do you guys think? You like it? Let's see. I'm going to go back to chat and see if you guys had anything to say. It does kind of remind me of the acrylic paint pouring. It does. And then we can even get the little holidays in it like we get in, well, I guess in paint pouring. They're called cells, not holidays. That's kind of interesting. Just breaks it up and shoots it off in different directions. I think I scrolled and it all of a sudden went, and so I've missed a lot of comments, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to scroll up. Give me just a second here. Is the granulation medium made by Liquitex? No, the granulation medium is Winsor & Newton. If you're asking about the inks that I used, yeah, these are the Liquitex inks. And then the watercolors that I used are the Dr. P.H. Martin Hydrus. Deb tried salt on inks and watercolors without very good results. Yeah, I feel like it's hit and miss. Some people seem to do really awesome stuff with it, but not me. Let's see, Eileen. What about just alcohol? What about just alcohol? I don't know what you mean. We did just alcohol. Sprayed it and it makes the little bumps. Oh, if you use it, I don't think you can use just alcohol for in place of water on, I don't know. I'll have to try it. I've never tried it. I can't imagine it would do very interesting things, but maybe. My magic bag is better than Santa's. Yes. We do have a great group of art monsters here, don't we? Let's see. Whoa. You guys make me giggle. The gold part looks like a dinosaur. I think it probably did. Does it still? Oh, it does, doesn't it? I can see it in my camera. It looks like a T-Rex, doesn't it? Yay! I love dinosaurs. Okay. Does alcohol work on acrylic? I don't think so. I don't think so. Not unless you water it down a lot. It works because it repels the water. So it's actually working against the water. When the drop, this is how my science brain understands it anyway, and I'm not a scientist. When the drop hits the paper, I think kind of the impact of it, it pushes the water out of the way, because that's what happens when you hit something that's wet. But since rubbing alcohol evaporates so quickly, as soon as it's super thin like that from hitting, it evaporates and becomes dry, and then the water can't flow back into it. And so I think that's why it works with watercolor. So unless you're going to thin acrylic down to the point where it flows like watercolor, I don't think it would do anything. But if you thin it down like that, yeah, it probably will. Sylvie says the alcohol works really nice on acrylics, that she uses that on a lot of your backgrounds. I would really like to see that, Sylvie. Can you post some of that to the GEMS group and kind of point that out? I would be really interested in hearing about your technique on that. No, that's you're not contradicting me at all. I'm just going by what I assume from how I understand that it works with watercolor. If it works with acrylic, man, I'm all over that. Show me. I want to hear about that. And spray it on the background when it's still wet, and it pushes the paint around like this. That's really interesting. Okay, let's jump back over to our video. We'll just kind of let this dry for a few minutes and see what happens. So far, I really like that. It kind of looks like a Google Earth shot, doesn't it? That's kind of fun. Oh, I said Google, and my phone is like, yes, can I help you? Okay. And here we go. Starting on our actual painting now.
Use the first half for the test of each brush, and I'm using the other half for this painting. So I've decided I'm just
I know that you can spray rubbing alcohol on acrylic paint that's dry, let it sit, and then like wipe it away.
But I don't have anything.
I've done a little bit of that.
So I just kind of went for
but as far as like resisting,
and this is
yeah, I've never done that before.
And Gamboge, and I probably will use some paint spray as well. Sometimes if I don't have an idea,
T-Rex coming up out of the ocean
that I really like, that kind of helps me get started. Okay, so down here,
Katrina's brushes didn't work at all. That's too bad.
Now I remember from my test that this one actually spread the most paint around, so I'm going to use this as kind of my wash brush, and I'm going to start by misting the paper almost randomly. I'm not worrying about trying to cover the whole thing. I think I'm going to mist the other side too. Maybe we can keep the paper a little bit on the flatter side. Perfect. So I'm going to wet this little brush in the jar, and this is the one that kind of looked like wheat or whatever. And I'm just
heck yeah, at least you tried.
And some of my violet.
And maybe it was just the plants that you chose, you know. Maybe something else would work better.
Area.
Somebody, I saw one.
Letting what happens happen.
I feel like it was somebody who's here right now. Somebody posted a picture of all their brushes that they made, and one of them was like a little clump of green berries. They're all like clumped together. And it was so cool. If I would have seen something like that, I absolutely would have picked those up too. Because I bet those would be fun to work with.
See if we can get that to run a bit. There we go.
Bye, Cindy.
Colorado here, there are some really...
Tell Nelson we missed him. Again.
I posted on Instagram in my stories the other day that Colorado grows the creepiest trees. I meant that as a compliment, Colorado. Let's try our little stick in a different way. I'm going to use it to scratch the paper. So I'm actually going to just put enough pressure on it to kind of scratch. If it might not be strong enough to scratch the paper. What happens when you scratch watercolor paper when it's wet, the paint kind of soaks down into that little
stick. That little stick was just not strong enough to scratch the paper.
So just very lightly.
It did not scratch very well.
At it. I'm not putting really any
Have you
pressure
guys done any of that?
on my knife at all.
Scratching, paper scratching when
It's an
you're
interesting little shape, so I'm gonna
painting
take those
with
shapes
watercolor?
outside
It's
of where
really
the color
interesting.
ends.
You can just like insinuate bushes and grasses and
Couple in
trees and, you know, texture,
really
just
random.
whatever, just by lightly
So
scratching.
this is almost going to be kind of abstracted, so I'm not going for
Oh,
really
good.
realistic looking.
Gretchen had a good
landscape.
experience using
Something
evergreens
kind of wild
to
and
do
fun.
tree leaf bits. And I love how you guys say bits now.
Let's grab this
I
one
keep
that
seeing you
hangs, a
guys
little
saying
fan
bits,
brush. I
and
wet
that
it,
makes me so
and I'm
happy.
just going to pick up some of the violet. There's a little bit of that gamboge in there, but not too much.
Yeah, I wish that I could,
Just a bit
that
on
I
the
would
end.
have grabbed more of
I'm
those
gonna
little
tap it
flowers,
right
because
here at the base. And just kind of let it
using
run if
those
it
to
wants
kind of
to, be
stipple on the
soft if it
flowers,
wants
the
to.
white flowers at the end, was awesome. And
Some
I
areas it's
loved
going to
this
run
little
more
fan
because the
brush
paper is wetter
that I'm
because
using
it
there.
get real
And that one would probably be strong
specific
enough
with
that I
how
could
much
use it
I wet
again,
it.
because
Some
those
areas
little
of this
grassy
paper is
bits
still quite
were
dry.
pretty stiff. They were, and it held up well. I bet I could paint with that one more. I really liked that. I wonder if my brush guy has any material similar to that, because that was a fun brush to use. It was for sure one of my favorites. Very versatile, you know, doing the little stippling like I'm doing there. You can scratch and
Drag some of that. It's
it was a
pretty
fun
heavy right
brush.
there, so I'm just kind of dipping into it again and dragging it in a couple of directions. And maybe we'll scratch it up a bit. Kind of
Deb,
give the indication.
I don't know
of
why
some
you
of
have
the
to be brave
grasses or
to go for the
just other
cactus needles.
wild
What does bravery have to do with any of
plants
it?
growing in the area.
You just do it, you just learn, you just
have this
experiment.
Granulation
You're never going to
medium.
learn
So
anything
this is
or experience
transparent
anything
medium.
if you're afraid to
kinda
try.
looks like
You know, it's
water.
not like you have to go to
Doesn't have a lot
jail
of
or something
smell.
if it doesn't
A
turn
little
out.
bit, but not too
You
much.
just go, oh, that didn't
Dip
work.
this in there.
Next.
Really soak that medium into it. And then I'm going to touch it into the violet here and watch what happens.
You tried the little sticks for dotting,
Tilt it a little.
Gretchen? I didn't try that. I
It's
don't know why I
clean.
didn't.
I don't have to
I don't know why I didn't think about
get
that.
all that purple.
But
in my
see, this little brush,
granulation.
it didn't pick up enough of the medium, the granulation medium, to get it on there so that it could
So what
separate
this
everything.
does, and it works better with some colors
And
than
I
other
thought that I
colors,
hadn't taken my little
but it kinda
eyedropper
makes
with
the
me,
pigments
and I
separate.
had. It
And
was in my
so,
bag. At the very bottom.
You know how you see some colors where it almost looks like a really fine sand? That's granulation.
Oh yeah, I
So
would be
in
afraid
just
of
a
the
second,
needles
I'm
too.
trying to let
Yeah,
it
yeah,
run
yeah.
a little bit.
I get
You
that.
should be able to see a little bit of
Fear
that
validated.
separation in this purple. Just spray a tiny bit more water in there.
I will no longer harass you about your fear.
I have an eyedropper that I usually use for the granulation medium, but I don't think I brought it with me.
I did.
There we go. So if you can see at the bottom there how it almost looks a little bit sandy and broken. And the more granulation medium you add, the better that works, and the more the pigments will separate and kind of clump together. Just going to add a little bit more right in here. This piece.
Yeah, you can see it a bit on here, but yeah, if I would have had my eyedropper, we would have gotten so much more granulation at the bottom there. All right, Deb's going for it. She's got the tongs. Can't wait to see. Cactus needles are pretty sharp, though. Be careful. Don't,
rubbing alcohol. So
you know, when you use them to paint, don't let them gouge into the paper, because then you'll tear into it, and it can ruin the paper or even just give you a look that you're not really going for. So just be aware of that.
Get a bit of texture without being too, you know, overly dramatic, I feel like. We talked about adding some distant trees with this brush, so let's do that.
See, and that's
Get it quite
the
wet
rubbing
and water
alcohol
dry.
being
Just pull a
sprayed
tiny
on
bit of
there.
Payne's Gray over. I don't want it to
I really like doing that up in the
overpower everything. I want it
trees
to be very,
because
very
it kind of
faint.
helps burst them a little bit more and make them seem like there's leaves in there and maybe light glowing through that. So I really enjoyed that.
Not like that. That's not faint at all. You know what? That's okay. Because watercolor is about experimenting. So I'm just kind of scratching.
He had to pick picky things out of his hand.
Water.
Yeah, see the green bits that I got off of the hedge, they were my favorite. Once they did something, like I really loved the trees that they did up the left side, that far left side. Other than that, it wasn't my favorite one.
Didn't want that to take over, and it totally did, didn't it?
Totally did.
That's all right.
Oh, maybe I should move my face.
There's always a plan B. Let's dab some of that
There.
out of there.
Yeah, see
Really
those
like that
trees
there.
right there.
That
I like
looks
those a
some
lot.
Distant pine trees.
Other than
I'm
that,
gonna leave that.
I probably wouldn't
Dab
use
out
that green one
extra
again
water and paint there.
unless I needed that
Pretty
exact
green.
same look right there.
Just with a slightly damp paper towel really helps pick it up. Let's do a few on the other side as well.
Now I gotta move me back over to the other side. Oh, bye Rita and Vince apparently.
Clean that off, and it's just got some water on it. I'm just going to kind of tap into here because I don't want it to spread too much. I just want to break it up a little bit. Maybe we can do just a little bit more of that rubbing alcohol texture, just right there, very, very loosely. Oh, see, some of the granulation medium ran up here, and I've got a bit of it going on there. I like that. Okay, I think I'm going to let this dry, and once it's dry, we'll come back and see what else we can do to it. Okay, so my paper is completely dry now, and I think I want to work on adding
Do we want to do more
tree elements to the sky.
watercolor
And
tutorials?
hopefully this doesn't
I can never get a handle on what
So again, I'm just going to kind of spray
people
it
want with
randomly,
watercolor. Like,
get a bit of moisture in there.
you know, I have people who like essentially beg for it, and then I have people who sound downright angry that I even suggest
Some more of my
it.
Gambu's purple
And
mixture.
yeah, I can't
I'm just kind of touching
really
in
get
there
a
and
handle
let it go
on
where
what
it
it
wants
is
to
that
go.
that
the
people
water
want with
carry
regards to watercolor. Yes. Oh, did you not see them, Gwen? Yeah, I framed them. I'll show you again. Okay. Yes. More watercolor. Do we
kinda like
like
this
kind of
area right here being a little
randomy,
empty.
abstracty type stuff like this? Clearly with a plan. I
Now,
would make sure to
if
have
you're
a
doing this,
plan.
if you're trying this, I want you to
So
remember
not like
that
this
doing
one,
something
but
like this is
because
not
that's really how I
necessarily
like to
about
paint with
creating
watercolor. It's just very
an
loose,
amazing
very,
painting. It's
you
just
know,
about
I actually
kind of
don't
having a
care
way to connect
for
with
painting with watercolor
where you
in
are,
a very
the place where
graphic
you've
type
been.
way, like we did with
Give
the
yourself something to
bluebird. I mean, I
remember
like the way
by.
my bluebird turned
I
out,
like how
but
it's
that's not
wet
how I
over
like
here,
to
so
paint
when
with
I tap,
watercolor.
it's almost giving me like leaf texture.
I will show
I
you
think that
again.
watercolor is much more interesting
Yes.
and dynamic
Yes,
when
yes,
you've
yes.
got
All right.
differences
So
in your edges. So some of the edges
yes.
being really faded out and blurred, and some of them being
Well,
quite
hello,
sharp
Atra.
and
I'm glad you could
distinct.
make it for a minute.
And so I'm gonna
More
keep
yes.
doing that.
So many yeses.
I'm just gonna let this side be.
And Pat likes this type of
sharper,
watercolor.
more
Me too,
distinct.
Pat.
Just kind of tapping in
Yes.
some.
You guys are
some
making my
grasses
day
or
today. How many fist pumps is that today? It's a lot. All right, let's go back over to here. I wanted to talk to you guys about something. So, and then I'll show Gwen again because she's at work and might get called away. Gwen missed it. So I framed my paintbrushes. I know it's so hard to see in here. But I framed my paintbrushes and my paintings down there, and then my key card from the room at the Stanley. Yay! So, yeah, I can't wait to hang that up somewhere. I don't know where. Let's see. Oh, there. You can kind of see it better there. So, yeah, just in a little, with a shadow box. So, after only doing just a couple of videos with the 15 plus level on Patreon, where we do the live paintings once a month, it's starting to really make me think about doing, or at least experimenting with doing some live videos. It's not something I've been comfortable with. It's really not something that I'm certain that I can set up for in any kind of a meaningful way. You know, painting flat on the table is fine when we're just kind of playing around and experimenting and, you know, messing with ideas, but for like an actual tutorial, I cannot paint with my canvas flat. That's just, that's not comfortable for me. I have to paint, you know, with my canvas up on an easel, and the logistics around setting up for that is just like, I don't really know how I would do that, and I don't really have the time to do a lot of research into it. And then it's also just me, you know, so I would have to be not only painting and teaching, but also adjusting my cameras, keeping an eye on my cameras, making sure they're recording, you know, all of that stuff, and making sure that you guys can see and trying to address questions. And it's really like a crew, a job for an entire crew, and it's just me. So, but you know, Mr. Jane said that he would help out if I needed, so that's awesome. But really, it sounds like a job for like 5 people. But after doing that a little bit with you guys, it makes me think that it might be possible. So I guess what I'm asking is that something that you guys would be interested in? Is if we did, you know, if I did any kind of a live painting, I'm thinking what I would do at first is do it with you guys live, and then take the recording from that and publish that publicly. So that would be our video for the week. But then eventually, you know, if all goes well and I'm comfortable with it and I can, you know, feel like I can pull all of those strings at the same time, it's something that I'd probably want to do publicly, which proposes a little bit of a problem because it takes away our viewing party. So that's not something that I think is going to happen in the next week or month or, you know, whatever. But think about, what could we do if I did end up doing my videos live, or at least some of them? What could we do to replace the viewing party? Because I don't know how much fun a viewing party would be for you after it's already been done live and you got to ask your questions, but maybe. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, yes, lots of yeses to live videos. So maybe what we'll do is, well, we already did a live watercolor demo, huh? Maybe we can do another one and just see how it goes. I really want to do an acrylic and see if I can just get some kind of a setup that works for both me and you. So, yeah, anyway, let's jump back to our video. Oh wait, you can't even see it because my big old face is in the way.
Maybe I'll take my little pen even, a little bit of water, a little bit of my watercolor, and just insinuate some little branches right out there. I like that.
Yeah, all of the ideas that you guys have for like replacing viewing parties, if we ever get to that point, just, you know, brainstorm, keep some ideas, and then, you know, once we get to that point, I'll ask and we can kind of plan on it. And I'll think about some things too and see if I can come up with some ideas, because I don't want to say, hey guys, thanks, you know, we did that and we had fun and now it's public and you don't have it. Because that would be sad.
Area. The darker it is and the more distinct the edges are, the closer the element is going to
Yeah, well, Katrina says if you do the live videos, just replace the viewing party with that. Initially, that's what it would be,
this one.
you know, because I would just be doing them live for you and then publishing
Pull some little
the
shapes out,
replay
put a
for
wire
everyone
on it.
else. But eventually, I would like to do the lives publicly,
I really
which
like
means that
getting
you
these
wouldn't have the
textures,
private
but you can't
lives
really,
anymore.
you can't
So
really predict,
that's what I'm saying.
and
We'll
you
just
can't
need to
really
kind
control
of work through that
That's
a
really
little bit and
exciting.
see what we
I
can
like that
come
a
up
lot.
with. Because I don't want to take things away from you, you know,
I'm going to stick with this
without,
brush.
at least not without
It's very wet
replacing
over
it with
here.
something that you're
Not
going to enjoy
terrible.
as much or more.
We'll cover up that little spot. I didn't really like that spot. So we'll put a darker color over it, and that should hide it. Let's fuzz it out with a bit
It's
of
like we have
water.
about 12 minutes left in this video, about 13 minutes. So,
Scratch in some little
you know, shout at
sticks
me
and
if you have
branches.
questions, whatever. I'm just watching this dry. This is so pretty. I'm really liking the way this is drying. Some of the gold like traveled down into the
If
white.
you're kind of a control freak, you might have a hard time with something like this because you might go into it with a specific idea and
I really
get
like
frustrated
this.
because these little natural brushes, they don't do what you might have in mind.
I'll show you
to
once
do.
it's dry, or
They
at
kinda do
least
what they want to do.
at least by the
I'll
time
put
we're
just a
done.
tiny
It
bit
probably won't be completely
of
dry, but it'll
this
look a little bit different from when we
rubbing
started.
alcohol right there. Kind of break it up. Keep this spot really open and kind of mystical looking. And that's going to help.
Yeah, we can still just do
draw our
like these
eye to
live
that area.
hangouts.
Everything else is quite dark, and then we've got
yeah.
this bright spot right there. That's going to be our focal
Just kind of
point.
have like a weekly, almost like a weekly Q&A, like what questions do you have
So what I want you to
specifically
do if
about
you
what
do
we did
this
this
is
week?
just
What would
put
you
it
like
up
to see in the
front. Find out what
future?
happens. I'm gonna grab just a little
Demos,
bit of my
chit
Payne's
chat, all of
gray.
that stuff. We can probably do something like
Some
that.
little sticky bits.
Sticky
Right
bits.
there, just kind of scratch them in. Nice and dark, we'll have our darkest value right here, right next to our brightest value.
Sorry, you
which
didn't
is
get to
right
see
here.
the sticky bits
And
there.
that should help create that
You know
drama
where to
that we're
find them.
looking for, that I'm looking for. I don't know what you're looking for. Your goals with your painting.
Yeah, I
with
like
your
that you
natural
guys all
brushes
share
might be totally
information
different.
so freely with each other. That's really awesome. I really, really
See, it
enjoy
kind of
that.
split there. My stick split, so I got two little branches.
And
I
Sylvie,
like that.
I seriously want to see.
If I flick it a little, it kind
I
of
want to see
splashes
your
everywhere. That's kind of fun too.
acrylic backgrounds where you use the rubbing alcohol. And like I said, I know that you can use it to remove paint, which can be really interesting ways
Let's keep that going
to
with the
do
Payne's
like some
gray.
negative painting. I've messed
And
with that a
some of
little
these
bit,
forward
but I
trims
haven't
that
done
we
anything
made.
real serious with it.
This one's pretty dark already. Let's lighten it up a little bit. It's still pretty wet.
I loved the way that the stick flicked like
Just
that.
a little.
The little pointed stick, when I would like scrape up and then it would catch and flick and little blobs would shoot off of it. Let's see, I think it's going to happen again here in a second. I loved that. I know it's coming again. I think by this point, the end of that stick was getting so, there we go.
Let's go back to our little
It was
fan
getting
brush
really
looking
kind of
one and get some of those darker
frazzled,
grasses
so
with
it wasn't
Payne's
even
gray
flicking very well by that point.
right at the base of these bushes. I'm just scratching just a few of them in.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Sylvie. Is it a
Texturize that
Bob,
ground a little bit more,
what's his name?
scratching side to
Burgess?
side.
Is it a Bob Burgess video?
Super abstract.
He does some really awesome stuff. And that's where I saw
Put too many of them right here where I want that to be the brightest.
the
Whoops.
rubbing alcohol removing
Hazards of
paint.
using natural
And
materials.
that does sound like something he would do.
Going into that purple gamboge mixture. Just kind of the same
Oh,
thing.
more
It's
flicks.
flicking
I love
everywhere, and that was
flicks.
cool.
I love it when paint shoots all over the place.
I like that, but I'm gonna.
Oh, Sorry,
Spray
Katrina,
some
go ahead. I'm
rubbing
watching
alcohol
now.
and see what
Wondering about
happens
using
there.
gold leaf. I guess
Soften it just a
it
little bit.
it
Don't spread it too much.
depends on what you're trying to do with it,
Let's
Katrina.
do some of the granulation medium.
Are you talking about using it with acrylic or watercolor or... I mean, gold leaf is pretty simple. Put something down that it can stick to, press it down. Once it's dry, wipe away the stuff that's not stuck. That's really it. As far as I know, there's not much more to
Gamboge, and
using
now
gold
some
leaf.
granulation medium.
Yeah, and it will stick to the paint. You can use mediums. You can use matte medium. Whatever. As long as you stick it to a wet surface that's going to dry and will hold it, it'll stick. Why? Don't be intimidated by it. Oh my gosh. No, gold leaf is so much fun. It's so much fun. And you can paint over it. You know, if you don't like what you did with it, paint over it. You can do that for sure.
Let it run.
And it's not actual gold, so it's not expensive. You're not like wasting precious metals if you don't like what you do. It's just gold colored foil.
And again, if it's too dark, just very lightly
No, don't be
tap
intimidated
out
by
a
gold
little
leaf.
bit of it.
And you can get it in.
Lift a
I
tiny
just
bit
used what I had,
to
which
reveal
was
some
that
of the
bag of all
colors
the
and
little
textures
shreddy
that
bits.
dried underneath
But you
it.
can buy gold leaf in little sheets too, which can be a lot easier to use. You can rip little pieces off or cut it with scissors, crumble it, whatever. Just lay down the whole piece.
Let's wet this corner a bit.
Gold leaf is fun. And there's really nothing to be intimidated by.
Gamboge.
There's no fancy trick or like you have to do it just like this or it won't work. The only thing I'll say about gold leaf that you have to do it or it won't work is you have to stick it to something that is wet that will be dry. That's it. Whatever that is.
Spread it with some water.
Yeah, I really like that antique looking one too, with all the little swirls of the color in it. That one's really fun too. I like that one.
But fun, I think. I'm going to spread it all the way over here, but I'm not going to leave it there.
I think that's actually what I wanted when I was doing that gold leaf tree. But I thought, I've got this bag that's just been sitting here. I've never even used it. I'm just going to use it rather than go out and buy something else. So that's why I didn't. But that was originally what I wanted, was that multicolored one.
Maybe I'll dab just a bit of this darker color with these little flowers. I didn't wet them this time. Let's see what happens.
Oh, I loved painting with this little brush. And I thought that it was going to be the most delicate one that would just fall apart immediately. And it's still good. It seems to be holding up well. It's a green one that is like, yeah, several bits of it almost broke off while I was framing it today. In fact, one little tiny piece did, but a couple of the whole things started bending off in weird directions and almost fell off.
And then I think I'm about done. I'm just going to scratch in some.
Oh, Marnie, thank you so much.
Palette knife right in here. You can't see it too well now, but once it dries, you'll be able to see it. Like you can kind of see the branches that we did up in these trees before.
And we're frozen up. And of course, I was licking my lips. So my tongue was sticking out of my face.
Don't gouge it too hard. If you gouge it too hard, you're going to dig down into the paper.
I'm going to pause this for a second because my poor computer is going. And my video's lagging really bad, and my face keeps freezing in really bizarre ways. Oh, my stream quality is bad. I hope I don't lose you guys. There, just in case you can't hear me, I put it in the chat. I don't want to lose you guys, but it's starting to go downhill, the quality. Okay, let's see if we can finish this video real quick. There's only about 5 minutes left, so let's see if we can blast through it real quick.
You'll actually kind of ruin it, scrape it too far. It's just light pressure.
Okay.
Okay, after letting this dry for a few minutes,
it was totally frozen up on my end, so I thought maybe
give it kind of a pop.
Maybe it was frozen up for all of you.
Take some white acrylic ink. This is the Liquitex acrylic ink. Just put out a couple
I
of
loved
drops
the
up
way these
there.
little flowers
And
turned
little
out, especially the
flowers.
ones on the left. Over on this side where that gamboge, like my Mr. Moon art on my hand. Yeah, Mr. Moon is a scratching jerk of a cat.
And then I'm just
I loved right
lightly
here
gonna
where
tap.
the yellow was still
A little
kind of
heavier
wet
here in
and
the
it
front,
it
so it's a bit bigger.
melded with that white
Some little
ink a
flower
little bit.
shapes.
I really wish that everything else on the other side had been
Scatter some
wet
that
as
way.
well, so I could have gotten that effect. But
And lighter as the paint starts to wear off. Just some smaller ones up there. Ooh, that was still wet, so it didn't pull them in a
see, I
little.
love that so much. The way that turned out right there.
Little hints right through here.
And Mr. Jane is coming back in just a second, so I'll get my face off at the screen when that happens. And we'll watch the last bit, and then we'll chat for a second before we finish
now
up
I
for
feel
the
like
day.
I'm done. Let's see if I can sign it with this little.
Yeah, not so much. That was kind of a
pen that I made.
catastrophe trying to sign with that thing.
Not really. It's passable though.
And there's our abstract watercolor vacation memorial painting. So, of course, this painting, I didn't have any planning that went into it. Had I had a little bit more time to plan it, then it might be
Isn't
a little
he
bit more
cute?
impressive painting. But the thing about making paintbrushes the way that we did today is I don't know what the longevity is of these brushes. You know, I picked these materials right.
Yeah, he's always wearing his painting with Jane's shirt. He's such a good cheerleader.
So I wanted to just immediately use them. If I were to go and pick fresh materials for these now that I know what they do, then I would be able to take a little bit more time and plan out a painting around them. But for how it turned out, you know, making our own paintbrushes, I had never done this before. You guys let me do it for the first time.
I love this part.
And
He's so
I'm
goofy.
pretty happy with how this turned out. I have never made any kind of paintbrushes before out of natural materials, let alone create a painting.
Aw, thank you, Gwen. You're so
Well, not
sweet.
incredibly impressive. I'm still very proud of it, and I think I'm going to see if we can get this framed and include the paintbrushes in the frame so that we can always remember our trip to Estes Park and the Stanley Hotel.
Unforgettable.
So I encourage you, you know, if you go on a trip, if you have a place that has
He didn't know what to
meaning
say,
gather
so he
a few
just
materials
blurted,
from
"Unforgettable."
around in that area. See what you can come up with as far as brushes go.
Oh, you didn't know
Just
that he was an
create a
author? Yeah,
painting,
he's
you know, off the
written
top of your head. Don't
several
try
things,
too
and
hard to
mostly he just does
create
publishing
something really
now.
impressive. Just let the area and the
He
feelings that you get in
publishes
that
other
area,
people's books, but
as
he
well as
still
the
does
materials
some of
that
his
you're
own
using
writing.
as
Not as much as
paintbrushes,
I
let
would
those
like,
inspire
but
the
he does
painting.
it.
And I do have to give a huge thank you to Mr. Jane, because I told him that I wanted to find some materials to make paintbrushes with, and he found, or pointed out at least, almost every one of those materials. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
And this is our last night in the infamous room 217 at the Stanley Hotel. We have yet to experience any paranormal activity, but we're hoping that tonight that can happen before we go home, so we don't have to go home without any new ghosts.
I like, this is the first time I zoomed the camera back so that I could do the executive
All right,
producers
thank you
down the
as
side
always
there.
for
I think I
painting
like
with me,
that,
everyone.
and
I'll see you next
I'll
time.
probably do that more often from now on, because instead I've been like just trying to make sure that I'm in a position, you know, so that I can leave like a big wall space to roll that up the side. But I kind of like the way that looked too. So what did you guys think about that, the way that I did that? Power couple. Aw, thanks. You guys are so sweet. Yes, he shaved the beard, Gretchen, like after we got home, and now he really regrets it. And every single day I hear about how I am never going to shave my beard again. So we'll see. Because then he'll grow back out and he'll be like, this itches. I just need to cut it down. I hate the way it itches. So who knows? We'll see. Oh, yeah, be careful. You guys, be careful if you decide to read some of Vince's works. Just understand that not all of them are meant for everyone, especially No Way Out. I would say that it's a very strong R rating. It's pretty graphic. So just be aware of that. Night Visit is a nice story. Yeah, No Way Out's pretty intense. So don't say I didn't warn you. It's yeah. Okay. Yeah, he didn't shave himself clean. He just cut it all off. Oh yeah, let's look and see what our painting looks like. Camera. There we go. Ooh, look at that. We still have our dinosaur. Yay, we didn't lose the dinosaur. It's getting darker in here, so it's hard to see, but man, I really, really like, I don't know if you can see. It doesn't show up there, but like right here, right there, there's some of that gold that kind of merged with the white, and it's super hard to see. But can you see, it almost looks like little bits of glitter or something all through here. I just love how much texture that added, and I can't help it. Yeah, so not only does this look like a dinosaur, but it also kind of looks like that dog in the meme. The dog with it's like that. The Feven dog. That's kind of what it reminds me of. So, but yeah, I like this, and I think that once this is completely dry, I could even take it and, you know, add more to it and kind of build like a whole painting around it, which is really fun about watercolor. I think it makes me feel freer to do certain things than I would ever feel in acrylic. So yeah, I think we'll do some more watercolor. Maybe I'll try and put something together and we can do that here pretty soon. Let's see. Oh, we have people leaving. All right. I love you all. So, yeah, man, my brain is just fried today. But anyway, unless somebody has any final questions, I'll just let y'all go. And I will see you. I will have next week's video uploaded for you tomorrow. I'm still working on editing it, so it won't be today, but I will get it up for you tomorrow and get it sent out to you. So, all right. Oh, can I show next week again? Yeah, I'll show you real quick. And ta-da! It's pretty easy. It really is. It's pretty simple painting. And I don't do layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, I swear to you. And yeah, it's a pretty simple painting, but I hope that you guys enjoy it. I really loved painting this one. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. So, all right, without further ado, we will leave it on this image while we cut out for the day. So I will see you guys around for sure next week. We're probably going to do next week's viewing party on Friday instead of Sunday. See how a Friday works. Saturdays don't seem to work real well for viewing parties, which I understand. So, all right, guys, I will see you later.